the challenge at like I think the
Take us to black.
All right, don't worry about it.
Something in there.
Ready, red?
Copy that.
Yeah, you can. Put red on it.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Stand by red. Tracking blue. Red tracking blue.
20 seconds to us.
Okay.
Challenge was at 250. That was the last challenge on Chet.
8, 7, 6, 5,
Stand by.
3, 2, 1. Roll red, tracking blue. Stand by camera 2. Ready, a live wipe to 2.
The Kings scored 7 points.
Ready, pump. 1, 2, 1. Go.
Well, Sacramento's crowd leaving the arena tonight in pretty good spirits. They saw a heck of a basketball game. The Thunder on the short end of a 128-123 final. But, man, this thing was spirited all the way down to the end. No moral victories. We all know that. But the Thunder can feel very proud of the way they hung in this game after getting down by as many as 14 points in the game. They lose for just the 4th time on the road this season. Hi there. Welcome back into the Bally Sports Oklahoma studios. It's Thunder Live. John Radigan here. Nancy Lieberman there. She's in the Hall of Fame and a former assistant coach in Sacramento. We know that can be a tough building. There was like a playoff atmosphere at the end as they realized, oh my gosh, this thing's not in the can yet.
Yeah, this is not the old Sacramento Kings. This is a really good version of them. Coach Brown is electric when it comes to putting his defense, his game plans together. They've made some really good trades. They've got a lot of good pieces. They're going to be in the playoff picture this year. But, you know, I was writing a few things before we came here, and I wrote compete, composure, and belief. This is who Oklahoma City is. I think it was John Jagoe, our producer, came by us and said, you know, they're down this, but it's the Thunder.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the Thunder, and they're going to come back, and they can come back, and they did come back. And those 2 great challenges by Coach Dagnott and his coaching staff was phenomenal. They always just play to the last, you know, minute, second of the game.
I'll trust you
and
to track whatever you need to.
They're not afraid. They're not afraid to learn. Precious learning moments from games like this.
And of course, obviously, at the time of those challenges, they were in the midst of a comeback, which was necessary because of the way the Kings were playing. Really, at the end of the 3rd quarter, the beginning of the 4th quarter, they went on a 14-3 run, and they really had it going. They couldn't miss during that stretch.
Yeah, they just got hot, driving to the basket. You know, once you start taking 45 threes, which is what they did, now it opens up, you create space, a lot of offensive rebounds and second chance shots. And now you're struggling to come out and close out on the shooters. But 18 for 45 for the Kings, 53 points from 3. And sometimes you just got to tip your hat and say they played really well. They didn't quit after
Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about it, Fania, because I have Sacramento on the other end of it.
You know, the reversal of challenges. They came back right after that, scored 7 points. You guys got to hand it to a team. They didn't quit the Kings.
Yeah, neither did the Thunder, despite being down, as we mentioned, by 14 points. They mount a great comeback in the 4th quarter. There hadn't been much offensive flow to that point, Nance, but they found it here.
Well, they found it there because they just play hard. They have a culture. They play with tenacity. They block shots. They were starting to push the tempo and really come at the Kings earlier in the shot clock than they were. And now, if you're the one, you know, throwing the punches, as Coach D likes to say, now you've got people on their back foot, and now you've got some space, and you're sending a message to who you're playing. They're always going to be in games like this.
Yeah, they always are. They always have been, and they certainly were tonight. We take you back to Sacramento now. Chris Fisher and Michael Cage there to help us wrap it up, guys.
For the awkward hand, reaching in.
Yeah, thank you, John. What a game this was. I mean, the Thunder had to play comeback in the second half because Sacramento had that big 41-point 3rd quarter. But the Thunder, much like we've seen this young Thunder team over the last couple of years, Michael, not going away, fighting to the finish. It was a 14-point game with just over 7 minutes to go, and that's when the Thunder really cranked it up. They got it down to 2, and they gave themselves an opportunity. They just ended up missing some shots down the stretch.
Well, I thought they did exactly what they needed to do. It was just really a great marriage between the coaching staff and the players on the floor, those challenges back to back,
Did you get
almost
that,
winning the ball game,
rollout,
winning
Soto?
both of those challenges.
Right.
How unusual
After
is
they
that
do this, they're going to send
really
a
kind
preview.
of extend the game and put you back in a nice little position to possibly take the lead or tie the ball
I'll
game.
write the time code down.
They did
I'll
that.
write the time
I'm looking
code
at the
down so we'll get
numbers
it during
here.
the break.
They're all pretty solid. 62 points in the paint, so you win that battle. 14-7 fast break points, you win that battle. 22 points off turnovers, you win that battle. The only difference is you just didn't shoot the ball well from downtown. And the Kings did, and that's where they were able to extend and get some advantage on the scoreboard that they eventually were able to keep.
Obviously, big nights from Jagoe Alexander with his 43, one off of a career high. And you got to give credit to Josh Giddey. He's been struggling a little bit, particularly on the offensive end, but he was a big part of Oklahoma City staying in the game, getting back in the game in that third quarter. So nice to see him and his 18-point night.
Yeah, no doubt about that, guys. We appreciate you, and we'll chat with you later in the show as we get a preview of the last game on this brief road trip. But it was, and Josh only had 2 points in the first half, finishes with 18.
Stand by red.
You know, we talked during the game about how De'Aaron Fox, you know, not physically, but move-wise and speed-wise, he'll remind you of Shea, and he showed some of those same characteristics tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, it's one thing to be fast. It's another thing to be able to change your pace, change your direction, use those Euro steps. He's got great balance. His shot is pure when he gets it, but he can also take the contact when he's going up. He really played very well, you know, stepping into these transition three-point shots. But, you know, when you have a battle, we talked about this at the beginning of the game, that Shea and De'Aaron were going to go at it. They were both superstar matchups. And each delivered 43 points for SGA. You know, Fox 41 points. This was a battle of two really great young players in the league.
It really was. You love to see Shea setting a tone for that free throw shooting, 16 out of 18. Again, he just does so many things well, and did win that head-to-head battle, at least as far as number of points go, Nance. 43 to 41.
Yeah, I mean, you like to see that, right? Everybody wants to see stars go at it and see who's better, and they can talk about it tomorrow when they're, you know, having a beer or whatever. But what I will say, you mentioned this about Giddey. Giddey had 16 of his 18 points in the second half. And Lou Dort only had 6 points at halftime. He had 11 points, so those guys come up with 27 points. They leveled up their game, and I thought that took a lot of pressure off of Chet, who had a better second half, and of course the 43 that SGA had.
Yeah, we've got more coming up as we talk a little bit more about Josh Giddey. We will also get to our forward player of the game. Mark Dagnall weighs in on this one as well. We'll try to hear from the head coach about this one and about his thoughts down the stretch when they won those two challenges. 5-point loss, though. So we're back with that after this.
And dissolve out.
I hate it when you get a frog right before we go to break. You all right?
I got water right.
All right. So it'll be Giddey, not Thunder and Pain. It'll be Giddey. 48-31 is your back time. Giddey will be the next package. I'm sorry, Billboard first at 678 Alpha, stats, and then Giddey. You got the hit? Cool.
John, do you want to hit score on the backside of the billboard, or is
yes? The billboard flyaway will put score in.
Bally Bar, can you throw out score?
That's what I'll say from now on. Mitch.
Do we need to do a generic wipe to mess with the priority to make sure Bally Bar works right? Okay. Let's do a generic to full screen stats then. That way, what's that? Whichever one does the priority right, then yeah. Whichever one you want, pal. As long as we get where we need to go.
So it's not, it's a blue collar type place.
Bally Bar.
You know, it kind of sounds like it might be out on
2 font 2, correct.
Yeah.
For what? Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll be back on cam. Don't worry.
Those guys are great.
And then don't forget about your billboard back there.
Yes.
Yeah, don't we come back with a billboard?
Yeah, it's on red.
Okay. So yeah, your billboard on red.
So it'll be score to stats. It'll be billboard, score to stats. On camera, we'll do Giddey. Back on camera, we'll do our forward player. Hopefully by that time, Coach will be out.
That was when the Ernie and Bernie show were happening.
We'll just dissolve it in. Yeah.
And then Mitch went to UNC.
Do a little crossy cross. Which you won't really be crossing anything out.
He already fancied up by wiping from boxes to camera, so we have to, scale it down a little bit by just dissolving the score in. Yes.
You know what, Bally Bar, pull your score out. You're going to animate it in.
Giddy package and then 4-player
there we go.
SGA.
We got it.
But you'll come on camera in between, so you got time to load them up.
30 seconds, 6 to black. Stand by, tracking
but
red.
Giddy will be next after red.
That's probably where I remember him then as a.
About 25 does.
20 to red.
After Billboard. 15.
15 to Billboard. Once we come in, you can put your Bally Bar
9,
key hot.
8,
Bally Bar, wait for my
7,
cue to
6,
animate
5
words.
to Billboards.
Ready,
4,
red, tracking red.
3, 2, 1.
Roll red, dissolve. Track it.
Thunder Live on Bally Sports Oklahoma is presented by your Oklahoma Ford dealers.
And wait for it to
Ford
clear.
is the best in Oklahoma.
And
Score.
Thunder
score it.
leaving
Animate,
Sacramento behind. They're headed for Denver.
Stand
We
by.
preview
Let's
that
do the
in just a
matchup
couple
wipe
of
to this.
minutes. For now, we talk about the
Let me know when you're
5-point
ready.
loss to the Kings and take a look
Do
at
what
the
you gotta do.
statistics from this
And
one,
go do it.
which certainly tell a tale, Nance. I mean, the Thunder shot a much better percentage in the second half
me off. That's
when
what
they
you're
got all the
supposed
way
to
up to 43.
All right, did
But,
you say on camera
Michael
or
Cage
no
mentioned
track?
it. You're talking
go to
about
Giddy,
a
Giddy,
7-3
Stand by red
differential.
with
7 times
highlights
3,
of
21, right? That's a 21-point difference just from
Do
the
a 16
3-point.
second half points on the
But,
footnote.
you just said it. Oklahoma City, they had 6 threes in the first half. They came out firing. They did a great job at the foul line. This was a game. The points in the paint. Just getting after it. And the only thing that I'll say, one of the things we've been talking about since the pregame show was transition points. And they only had. OKC only had 14 transition points in this game. The pace of the game until like that last 6 or 7 minutes
We're gonna have one more package before
was,
we come out too.
kind of pokey. That's what Coach Brown wants.
Yep.
And we talked about. And then, it was just, let's just play to win. And both teams, it was like a shootout in the Wild, Wild West.
Ready, red?
Yeah. Yeah, and if the Thunder were
Roll
able
red,
to
take
establish their pace, which they did late,
Stand by,
they had a
fault
better
one.
chance to win.
Animate
and one of the
fault
reasons they did late is him, Josh Giddey, Nance. Most of his damage
Stand by,
done in the
camera
third and
2.
fourth quarter.
Ready with your
Yeah,
dynamic
he just,
move?
we can read off all his numbers
Ready,
to you, but I'm here to
live
tell you,
wipe.
Josh Giddey was diving after balls.
last shot?
He created extra possessions just by,
And
tracking down
wipe.
rebounds or
Boom.
popping the ball out of somebody's hands. It's really
Ready,
a great thing.
4
Chris Paul
players next.
still
3.
does it. If you get a rebound and you pull it down like you're taught, and all Chris Paul does is
Ready,
keep his
2.
hand here, so bam, the ball
Take 2.
pops up. Josh Giddey is really good at that.
Yeah.
And they
Stand by
know that
red
we're
with
taught
a
to pull it
fourth
down. And he
player.
pops it up and gets the rebound. And now extra possessions got this team going with his effort, his energy. And he was having fun playing.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff
Ready, red?
that Nancy mentions doesn't show up on the statistical sheet, but it certainly was a big part of the game. Let us now get to our Ford
Ready,
player
red.
of the game.
Roll red,
and
take red.
It's got to be Mr. 43
Stand by,
tonight.
fault
I
one.
mean, Shea
Animate.
sets a tone early. He has 14 points in the
We're gonna
first
Fontu out
half
of
of
this.
the
Copy,
first
stand by
quarter,
Fontu on the
I should say,
backside.
of the
We're gonna
game,
do an
Nance.
OKC wipe to it.
Sometimes you almost never say this in basketball, but sometimes you go, Shea, just
They're going to be on
yourself.
camera. We got plenty of time.
Ready, fault
It's
2.
interesting. You know they're game planning for them
Let 'em
for
score.
him, right?
Yeah, of course.
They're running people at SGA.
Wipe it. Go.
He's an anomaly. The stuff
Stand
that
by,
he can
camera
do,
2.
and look at the
get
players in
coached.
this league, what Doncic has done this season. And, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's got 4 as well, but, he had 64 last night.
Yeah.
Ready to go off?
So, Shea
Ready to.
is in
Move to.
rarefied air
Just
right now.
wipe it to
And
2.
these
Go.
are young guys.
Right.
I mean, these are not, LeBron is still LeBron doing things we've never seen before. These are young guys who are sending to an MVP level. And Shea's right in the mix.
Yeah, he really is. Really fun to watch night in
Ready, red?
and night out. I'm sure really
We'll do a
fun to
live wipe
coach
to it.
night in and night out. Let's hear from Mark Dagnall now.
Roll red, track red, effect red.
Dallas KC Thunder. Mark,
Ready,
just
fault 1.
your thoughts on
Animate
the looks
fault
that you
1.
guys got down the stretch. Seemed like you had 3 really good cracks at a 3.
We're going to wait till he starts talking, and then we'll
just
pull it back.
The execution that you guys had to be able to put yourself in that
do
position.
We still have a bunch
late.
of squeezes on this
one?
one?
I thought we really executed.
No sweat. I'm not worried
Take
about
the time.
it.
He just started, so we got plenty of time to get it.
And we have to, trust that even when the shots don't fall. The best thing you could do is execute, get the best shot you can. I thought the last 4 or 5 minutes we did a tremendous job on that end of the floor of just executing, understanding what we were trying to get done, taking what the defense gave us, really understanding our attacks, and on the heels of the Dallas game, where we got blitzed and double teamed in the backcourt. I thought our attacks tonight were much improved, and so even in a loss, I think we can take that as a step forward in that area of the game.
And then Sacramento made a big push end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter. A lot of those threes were off the dribble.
We've got time.
Was there anything during that stretch that you guys could have done at a higher level, or is that just really good shot making by them?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Credit them. I thought Ellis made some big shots. Fox obviously had a great night. So they deserve credit. They played really well. They made a lot of tough shots. But it's why the easy stuff and the controllable stuff is so critical, because we still were able to make it a one-possession game down the stretch, even with all that on a bad shooting night for us. But in the game flow, we're going to look back and see some plays that were controllable, and if you can just shave some of those down, it could be the difference in a game. I thought that was the case tonight.
Mark, they double shade in the corners. They push them out to half. I know we've talked about over the past couple of years Shea seeing as many pictures as possible, but did it feel like, as far as the season goes, Sacramento maybe threw as much as any team at him?
Yeah, they're up there. I mean, it was from the jump of the game. They were really aggressive with them. They doubled them. They didn't double them early in the possessions early in the game, but they were doubling them in most pick and rolls early on. And I thought we had some really mature attacks against it. I thought he found a great flow and balance and blend. Obviously, he had 43, so he was able to find his cracks. He's gotten a lot better at playing fast on the catch, which when you're going to get double teamed, if you're slow, is critical. And I thought he had a bunch of plays like that tonight where the ball came out to him and he hit the gas before they could set a double on him. And then he had a lot of other plays where he was just off it early and he let us play 4-on-3. And I thought, like I said, we had some really good floor spacing, balance, cutting, found a lot of good shots in those situations tonight. So a lot of positives on that end of the floor.
So Zia, I'm not going to be like in some
mentioned the cracks he found beyond those.
Saying,
just
go to break.
It felt like even when he was getting off it,
break.
you guys got good looks. Just the shots didn't fall, especially late, like you mentioned. I know the shot making isn't a variable you can control, but just what are you telling the guys as those shots aren't falling, especially
talking about shot making?
Just what I told you guys. I told them after the game. If we want to be a good team, we have to have the maturity to look at that and say, man, we really executed. We need to execute like that every night to give ourselves the best chance and have the confidence in ourselves and each other that we're going to make enough of those if we execute like that. I think the lesson is more we had stuff we could control before that point that put us behind the 8 ball tonight, and
we just lost
that was probably why we lost that
Coach.
in the way that Sacramento played.
Stem just froze on the program.
Bertans in a fourth and take Dub, I think, shortly out after that. Just
we'll stick
what
with
were you looking for out of that group that started the quarter, and just what were you looking for in those changes you made?
I was just, we wanted to try to win those minutes. Didn't do it in the first half. That group for Sacramento was able to extend a lead on us, so I was taking a look at something different. I thought Bertans maybe with some floor spacing would help us out. Decided to give Josh a go pretty quickly there, and I'm just was trying to find what was best for the team.
5 seconds, and then he'll come back.
What did you see from Josh in the start of that third quarter there? Obviously, gave you guys a big boost to try to cut the lead there.
I thought all night he played with really good force. He had a really good balance between his aggression and his ability to get everybody else involved. Thought he defended pretty hard, and I think he's obviously struggled to this point, and I thought that the work he's put in over like the last week to 10 days in particular has been really good, and that's been encouraging because when you're struggling, you want to work through the struggles. Things don't just turn on their own. You've got to make them turn. And
there's the freeze.
There's
don't
freeze.
freeze.
Don't freeze. It's just for a few seconds.
Panic, Zach.
What the hell's going on?
Don't worry.
This time, and I think he's maximized that, and he came into the game very sharp and was sharp there in Utah too. So he should be proud of how he's worked.
You had mentioned just some controllable things you guys could have done earlier in the game to kind of mitigate that deficit. Just was it on the defensive end that you felt like some of those controllables were standing out to you?
Yeah, I mean some of the easier stuff Fox got, some of the easier stuff Sabonis got early, some of the more open threes that were us breaking down or us.
I like it.
Just not rotating with enough urgency, closing short. Had a couple transition. It was a number of things. There was probably 15 or 20 points that. We could have made them earn more. They probably would have still gotten some of them. But if, like I said, if you can shave some of those down, even on a poor shooting night, you can find a way to maybe get that game. And I didn't think we gave ourselves that much chance.
Wipe two, move two.
Mark Dagnall weighing in on this one. We noticed that it was a stark difference. We commented as we were watching the game. When the Thunder got into that rhythm, they were also making it so difficult for Sacramento at the other end of the floor.
Well, they were, and that's part of the entire game plan. The game is ebbs and flows.
Yeah. So we're going to need
a
scenic
easy to win on the road, especially in the West against a really good team like Sacramento. But I agree with Coach. He's so positive. He's honest. He'll say, look, we didn't do this, and this. But on the other hand, this is what we really did well. And it's an everyday thing. They're going to take the film. They're going to break it down. They're going to break it down individually for each player. They're going to look at the matrix of what they did right, what they can do better, and how we can get better when we play Denver on the road.
Doesn't get any easier, does it? Right. And the one thing where they'll like to be better is the bench, which uncharacteristically tonight, Nance, they got almost doubled up on 45-26 was the advantage for the Kings.
I think that's... obviously, the numbers are the numbers, but I think it's a little bit of an anomaly because two guys got really hot. Monk and Ellis got hot. They were 9 of 15 from 3. Of the 45 points that the bench had, they had 35 of them. They were hot. But nobody else on the bench really hurt them. If you slow them down just a little bit, maybe we're looking at a different outcome.
No doubt about it. There were lots of ways it could have been different. It wasn't tonight, and the Thunder lose it by 5. As we mentioned, it doesn't get any easier for this team. They head to Denver next. Yeah, they will see the Joker and the rest of those Nuggets, the world champion Denver Nuggets. We'll talk about that mile-high matchup as Thunder Live continues in a moment.
So didn't I give you a time lapse? I thought I did.
Well, I'm about to call it up.
All right.
You're back at 02:45.
All right, we'll do a preview. We'll get Nancy's thoughts, and if we get a player between now and then, Nancy will be clear either way. Let's use that, Sota. We'll use that one.
All right.
So, so John, will score and then toss to the preview.
Okay.
So it'll be red with score bug, and then we'll toss to a preview in blue. As soon as somebody calls it up.
Yes, we're paid up.
Scenic to post hit. And then we may get a player, we may not.
Scenic to post hit.
So will that be a 5:30 pre?
Yes.
Bally Bar, stand by to animate your score. We'll do a generic again. And whenever I forget, make sure to do the generic.
Yeah,
And then we're going to go red, blue.
They won by 23 over Brooklyn.
Blue is our preview, Mr. Rowe.
90.
Ricola had, he has 10 triple doubles in 7 straight games.
He has, wait, what now?
He has 10.
This is just a scenic, right?
Oh, all
it's
season.
Nothing billboardy.
7 straight seasons.
Oh, I see.
Put font 1 up
real
quick.
1 hot.
Here, we do have a triple-double. We'll do it out of the preview for you, Nance.
He messed around and got a triple-double.
All right, thank you.
Clear it.
His 10th
So it'll be red with score bug.
Score bug will come from Bally Bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all at Bally.
In 7 straight years.
45. So we will dissolve into red, and then Bally Bar will animate score.
Oh, I'm missing a Clippers games are always good to do trivia questions with Cage.
30, tickets to black.
Copy that. 20.
20 to red.
About 15 to, yeah, I'll stand by.
15. 10.
9, 8,
7, 6, 5. Ready red.
4.
Ready Bally bar.
3, 2, 1. And
Roll red dissolve. Bally bar animate. Perfect.
The site of tonight's game,
blue.
the Thunder lose it by 5
with a live
to
wipe,
the Kings. They're
blue,
headed
go,
to
generic.
Denver next.
Yep,
It's
look, I'm
time
learning.
for a
It's crazy.
preview of that game. Chris Fisher and Michael Cage standing by at Golden 1 to preview the next.
Track blue, roll blue, effect blue, go.
Tough
Keep
loss
four
tonight for
hot.
Oklahoma City as they fall to the
Animate
Sacramento
names.
Kings late in the fourth quarter, and it's not going to get any easier as the Thunder make their
Pull it
way
out.
back east against the
Put your
Denver
Bally
Nuggets
bar
on
hot.
Saturday night.
Bally
Denver
bar,
Nuggets team,
animate
Michael,
your
that
Bally
obviously
bar.
has Nikola Jokic and that great
Bally bar too
offense and
much.
his creativity on the offensive end. But the Thunder are going to have to
I got
regroup
that
and get
triple
ready
double
for the
graphic
defending
out of
champs.
this.
Well, and this was a good
You wanna
tester
throw
for
it out,
them
or you
too.
wanna
I
animate
mean,
it
when
over?
you're playing on the road in a
Feeling
hostile
gutsy?
environment, well, you're going Saturday night to play against the
All right.
defending
wanna
NBA
fly it on?
champions. Another situation, hostile environment. You're on the road,
Stand.
and you're really,
They're gonna run
just
the
trying to
graphics, so
make
maybe they're
a niche or a name for yourself against these perennial teams,
Stand
which are
by
coming through your
font
schedule
one.
right
We'll
now.
put font
You think
one
back to the
hot.
last time these two teams met, it was all the way back on opening day at Paycom Center, but the Nuggets kind of had their way, so another tough test for the Thunder.
Bobby, stand
Reminder that's
by.
going to be
You can put font
8
one hot
o'clock
now.
Central. Thunder Live pregame will get you going at
Stand
7:30
by.
right here on Bally Sports
He looks-
Oklahoma. And all you got to
he's
do is
having
look at
a
that
day.
graphic, Michael. You see Nikola Jokic, and you think he's one of the toughest
Ready to
matchups in the
open town
NBA.
mic.
Oh, no
Mike's
question.
ready
I
to
mean, he's an
animate
anomaly.
graphic.
I mean, at 7 feet, he does it all. And whenever you're playing
will
the
wipe
Nuggets, you
off
have
on
to
the
deal with
backside.
Nikola Jokic and his ability to score inside and to run the offense.
Always a tough
Ready,
test.
font
All right,
one.
John and Nancy, we'll talk to
Ready,
you
your graphic
Saturday
cut?
night from the Mile High City.
Animate.
Yes, guys, we appreciate that, and we'll look forward to it. All right, take a look at the
So you can start
masters of versatility, and Nikola Jokic is one. He's already got 10 triple-doubles this season, Nance, which is far and away more than anybody else in the league right now.
Ready,
He's had
Thunder
7
live,
straight seasons of double-digit
Thunder live to two.
triple-doubles,
You're
if
up.
you can follow that. I mean, he's a triple-double machine. They
camera
won
3.
tonight. He had a triple-double.
There's a reason he's been MVP
John, if you want to
for
start
a couple
racking up
years.
the belt,
Take 3.
we're just about to
He's
go off the air.
unbelievable. He's a world champion. We know
How close
how
are we?
hard this team is
rolling out what
preparing
she's
to
done.
try to
Copy.
defend
Stand by to
their
lose your Bally bar,
championship
Bally
from
bar.
a year
Ready,
ago.
2.
They have a lot of talent. You know, they have Aaron Gordon.
the
They
slate.
have Jamal Murray. There's
Take 2.
so many great
Hey, where's
pieces
your, rollout gonna
around
be?
Got 4
Joker.
channels.
And
Safe travels, sir.
we haven't
Being
even
blue.
talked about,
Merry
he might be
Christmas.
one of the top 5 passers in the NBA. I
Yeah.
mean, it's unbelievable what he can do with the ball.
Yeah.
Jags, you want a fine schedule?
It's going to be a problem, but you look forward to getting out
2?
there, playing against them, and
no.
seeing
Okay, got it.
where do we stand right now. They're
Keep
now
moving, 2.
third.
But
They're
you know
now
what, yeah, let's go to
second
font 2.
in the
Throw it
West
out, and
behind
then
the
we'll go to our
T-Wolves.
rollout.
Stand by font
So
2.
why
Next
not?
3
Let's
and
go
then we'll
play.
roll.
Let's see where we are.
Yeah,
Thunder
that's
live to font
fantastic.
2,
So
go.
it is Denver next, and then the Thunder get to come
Stand by
home
blue.
for the holidays.
then
They'll
we're gonna
play
go to-
5 in a row at home and
Let's
spend
do a different,
the entire
live
Christmas
wipe.
holiday portion of the season right there
Full Bally
in
bar.
Oklahoma City at Paycom Center. So it's
blue?
the Nuggets, then home for the Grizzlies and the
Effect blue,
Clippers.
roll blue.
All right, so that will do it for tonight from Sacramento. A great game,
What's our,
especially a great
font
finish
trap?
to
You
this
can,
one. Just
there
wasn't
is
a
no
great
font trap.
outcome,
Score?
but the Thunder
Score.
really battled back,
All right,
and
Bally bar
Mark
hot.
Dagnall had a
Bally bar,
couple
give
of
me your
great
score.
challenges that paid huge dividends. Thunder
ready
wind
with
up
your
losing,
matchup
though, by a
cap? You're
final
gonna pull
of
Bally bar?
128 to
have to, it'll work.
123. So that will do it for us from here in the Bally Sports Oklahoma studios. We will see you again on Saturday night for another
Matchup cap, go.
edition of Thunder Live.
All right, now I got to say all the cuss words that ruined Zach's video.